Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like your avoidant ex is playing mind games? 1 minute they're cold, distant, gone. The next, they're lurking on your social media or accidentally bumping into you. Here's the truth. Avoidants don't just erase people. Avoidants don't just erase people they cared about. They're mixed signals? It's not indifference. It's internal chaos. And today we're cracking the code. Avoidant exes are walking contradictions. They crave connection, but flee from it the moment it gets too real. If you've ever felt like they're pulling you in only to suddenly shut down or disappear, you're not imagining things. This isn't just random behavior. It's a subconscious battle between their deep-seated fear of intimacy and their undeniable attachment to you. The push-pull dynamic is their way of trying to regulate their own emotional chaos. One day, they're distant, cold, almost indifferent, like you never mattered. And out of nowhere, they resurface with a casual text, a nostalgic comment, or an unexpected like, on an unexpected like, on, and that's the tell. That's the crack in their armor. Because true indifference doesn't circle back. True detachment doesn't leave breadcrumbs. What's really happening beneath the surface? Fear. Avoidants associate love with loss, vulnerability with pain. So, their instinct is to self-sabotage before they can get hurt. But here's the catch. The human brain is wired for connection. No matter how much they suppress it, their emotions don't just vanish. So when they withdraw, it's not because they've stopped caring. It's because they care too much. And that terrifies them. Their silence isn't a lack of feeling. It's emotional overload. And when they reappear, that's the moment their attachment system overrides their fear. Maybe they felt a pang of loneliness, saw something that reminded them of you, or just wondered if you still think about them. Whatever the trigger, their reach out, no matter how casual, is a subconscious admission. You're still on their mind, not. But here's where most people get stuck. They take these mixed signals at face value. They assume hot and cold behavior means confusion or disinterest. Yeah, wrong. It means internal conflict. An avoidant who's truly moved on doesn't engage in push-pull. They don't orbit your life. They don't test the waters. The very fact that they're cycling between distance and contact proves they're still emotionally tied to you. Their fear is running the show, but their heart hasn't let go. Fear, So how do you know the difference between breadcrumbs and genuine interest? Watch their patterns. Do they only reach out when they feel lonely or insecure? That's fear-driven. But if their contact has a hint of nostalgia, vulnerability, or curiosity about you, not just their own emotions, that's attachment breaking through. Either way, their push-pull dance isn't about you. It's about their own struggle between running from love and desperately wanting it. And that's the most revealing sign of all. If they're still playing this game, they never really walked away. Not mentally, not emotionally. They're just fighting a battle with themselves. And you're still the prize they're too afraid to claim. One of the biggest tells that an avoidant ex is still thinking about you is the catch. They'll do everything in their power to make it seem like they couldn't care less. Avoidants are masters of illusion when it comes to their emotions. They'll mute your stories, but still watch every single one. They'll unfollow you on Instagram only to check your profile from a fake account or through a friend's phone. They might even go as far as deleting your number to move on. Yet somehow, they always find a way to keep tabs on you. Why? Because true indifference doesn't require effort. Real detachment means they wouldn't even bother to look. The psychology here is fascinating. Avoidants maintain their emotional safety through control, not necessarily control over you. Control over you, but control over the narrative in their own mind. Ooh! When you're stagnant and pining for them, they feel secure in their decision to leave. But when you start shining without them, that threatens their entire psychological framework. It forces them to confront two painful truths. First, that you're not the emotional security blanket they unconsciously counted on. Second, and more devastating, that they might have made a mistake in letting you go. This is why your success, happiness, and moving on triggers them more than anything else. That's not accidental. It's their subconscious, desperately trying to reassert their place in your emotional world. They might not even realize why they're doing it. Avoidants are masters of self-deception. But the pattern doesn't lie. Every time you level up, their behavior reveals what their words never will, that they're still emotionally invested. The most telling reactions are often the most subtle. That sudden social media post, clearly meant for you to see. The way they ask mutual friends detailed questions about your life. The accidental run in at your favorite coffee shop months after the breakup. These aren't the actions of someone who's moved on. They're the behaviors of someone trying to convince themselves they have. Because here's the uncomfortable truth avoidants must eventually face. Indifference doesn't keep score. Real detachment doesn't monitor an ex's progress. If they're still having any reaction to your growth, positive or negative, they're still emotionally connected, no matter how much they protest otherwise. Every success you achieve chips away at their carefully constructed narrative that the breakup was for the best. And that's when you'll see the truth. That all along, beneath layers of avoidance and fear, part of them never stopped caring. They just needed to see you walking away to realize it. The truth about avoidant exes is this: their silence was never about indifference, and their distance was never about forgetting you. Ooh, every push-pull dynamic, every subtle check-in, every reaction to your growth reveals what they can't or won't say out loud. You still occupy space in their mind and heart. Avoidants don't easily detach from people they once deeply connected with. They simply bury their emotions under layers of self-protection. But emotions have a way of resurfacing. In their lingering glances, their sudden reappearances, and their quiet jealousy when you thrive without them. The signs are there if you know where to look. But here's the critical question. What are you going to do with this knowledge? Because the real power isn't in decoding their behavior. It's in deciding whether they deserve any more of your energy. You've seen the proof that they still think about you, but now you must ask yourself, is that enough? Someone who only engages when it's safe for them, who only reaches out when they're lonely, and who only seems to care when you're moving and isn't offering you real love. They're offering you crumbs. Offering you crumbs. And you deserve the whole feast. This is your moment of reclaiming control. Every second you spend analyzing their mixed signals is a second stolen from your own growth. Every ounce of hope you invest in their potential to change is energy diverted from building a life so fulfilling that their presence or absence becomes irrelevant. The most powerful response you can have to an avoidant ex's lingering attachment isn't hope. It's indifference. Not the forced kind, but the genuine kind that comes when you're too focused on your own journey to look back. Let their confusion be their problem, not yours. Let their nostalgia be their burden to carry. Your mission now is simple. Outgrow them so completely that even if they ever work up the courage to return, they'll find a version of you they no longer recognize, a version they can't keep up with. Because the ultimate revenge isn't making them regret losing you. It's reaching a place where their regret doesn't even matter to you anymore. So, whether they ever admit their feelings or not, whether they stay stuck in their patterns or not, you are no longer waiting. You're no longer wondering. You're living. And that's how you turn their quiet obsession into your unshakable freedom. The chapter with them is over. The next chapter is yours alone, and it's going to be extraordinary. Thank you for taking this journey into the psychology of avoidant attachment with me. I hope these insights have given you clarity, confidence, and most importantly, the power to reclaim your emotional freedom. Remember, you are never defined by someone else's inability to love you fully. Walk forward with strength and trust that the right love will never leave you guessing. Wishing you healing, growth, and a future filled with the love you truly deserve. Until next time, stay bold, stay empowered, and keep rising. Goodbye for now.